Hi guys, welcome back to another Cinematic Mike review. Today I'm going to be reviewing James Mangold's 310 to Yuma, which is a Western film. It's one of my favorite Western film. Not my all-time favorite Western film, but it's one of my favorite Western film. My all-time favorite Western film would be Once Upon a Time in the West. I'm not sure if I know a lot of Westerns, but I do know some, and it's probably because of this film that I ended up going and searching for these type of Western films. And I like 310 to Yuma, and I think it's probably my second favorite. It would probably be right behind Once Upon a Time in the West. The one thing about this film, it has a great cast. It has Christian Bale, Russell Crowe, Peter Fonda, Alan Tudyk, Kevin Durant. It has other actors that are pretty good, and Ben Foster, who's an amazing actor, and he kills it in this. He's really good in this. He's probably one of my favorite characters in this film, Ben Foster. Another thing about this film is this music score. The music score by Marco Beltrami is really beautiful to it. It captures that time and that action adventure feel to it, that western vibe to it, and I think it's a beautiful score that they put for it. What I like about this film is that each character kind of stands on their own. They're each their own type of characters, and there's like five of them or six of them. You got Christian Bale, the rancher. You got Russell Crowe, the gunslinger criminal. You got Alan Tudyk, the doctor. You got Kevin Durant, who's like the annoying prick, and then Peter Fonda, who has some history with the criminal or main bad guy, which is Russell Crowe, Ben Wade. And they all stand on their own, which is good when you make a story because you want your characters to stand out on their own. You want them to be different and be their own character. And I think this film really does it with those characters. The costume design and the production design is awesome. I love the costumes on these characters, on these actors. It looks really like the time period, and it looks really cool. The story is about like a rancher who's down on his luck. He has no money to pay for his farm, his water. He's way behind. He not only has that problem, he has an issue that a flaw, which is he's missing one leg too. And so he has all these flaws, which make it good for writing characters. And then he comes across this killer, this criminal named as Ben Wade, who's popular around the town, known for his gang to be brutal and assassins. And his gang is brutal, which Ben Foster is part of his gang, which he's one of my favorite characters on there, who is vicious in that movie. Dan Evans, played by Christian Bale, ends up making an agreement to take this criminal to a train to take him to a prison and to be hanged. He ends up making this deal because, as I said, he has nothing in his farm. He's behind on a lot of bills, and the opportunity comes for him to make some money and to take care of his family. And that's all he wants, is to take care of his family. He wants to take care of his two boys and his wife, and he wants to live a happy life, a peaceful life. And the opportunity comes here with this having to transfer this criminal to a prison. But on the way, there's going to be trouble. On the way, his gang is onto this whole thing that they're trying to deliver him to a prison. So all on the way, all this trouble comes with this gang trying to recapture him. One of the reasons I think I like this film is because it reminds me a little bit about two other films that I like, and it's the idea of a bad guy and a good guy kind of having this mutual respect for each other is something that I always fall for. It reminds me of the film Heat and Collateral, which are both by Michael Mann. How there's a bad guy and a good guy, and somehow they come together, and there's always this kind of mutual respect, or like somehow the other one knows the other one more than the other person, and you just kind of always feel like, what if they were on the opposite sides? What if they switched around and all that? And I think that kind of something that attracts me to this 310 to Yuma film is that whole vibe. One of the things you find out along the way of the story is how Dan ends up telling the story to Ben Wade, telling him a story about how he lost his leg, and it's really like an embarrassing story. And I think it's the moment that Ben Wade, Russell Crowe's character, finally understands why this guy is doing what he's doing, and he ends up feeling bad for him because of the story that he tells him about his leg, about how he lost it, and it wasn't anything heroic, and his kids don't look up to him the way he wants them to look up to him. So he's also doing this so his kids could like look up to him. And because at the start you can tell one of his kids doesn't really get along with him, doesn't have respect for him, and you kind of figure that out on along the way that it's for this reason probably. and he can't afford to take care of his own family, and pisses off one of his kids. One of the things that got to me about this film is there's a scene where he tells his wife how he's been praying and praying, and he hasn't seen anything happen, nothing good happen, and he ends up going on this journey to take this criminal to a prison, and he knows there's gonna be trouble along the way, but he still decides to take it, knowing that he's risking his life, and he does it because, as he says, he can't. He doesn't have an answer. God's not answering him, and the part that gets to me a lot is at the end. There's a part where he looks out the window, and then finally there's like rain clouds over his land, which has been dry, and it seems like if he just waited a little bit longer, that God would have got there, and that part gets to me. I think 310 Yuma is a great film, and I recommend you watching it. That's my review for 310 Yuma. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.